Okay, let's make the function that we made in our pseudocode. So I click on functions, click on this one that has a return value. So there are two functions to choose from, but we want one with a return. And let's change the name to add 10. Now, as it is right now, it does not take any inputs. That's totally fine, but we want a function that takes an input. So let's change our input name to match our pseudocode. So our input's name is input, and we'll drag it over here. So now input is a variable that exists within this function. We'll go over that more in the next video, or the next lesson. But just know that you can now use input within this function. So let's set the input value to whatever input was plus 10. So we need to add 10 to it. Oops. Input plus 10. Okay, so now we want to return input. So let's just copy this part and return input. So now this is a complete function. It does exactly what our pseudocode said. But this code will not run unless you explicitly call the function in code that's already running. So we know that our loop function is running. So let's just make some code right here. We want to make a new variable. We'll just call it item, the default, and we'll initialize it to 0. And then we want to set item again to item plus 10. But we don't want to have to write item plus 10. We want to just call our function. So let's call add 10 with input item. And this will add 10 to our input. And that input is item.